Hey everyone, Ivy Gaming here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, I'm gonna talk about summoning. Should you summon this weekend?
The finest blood for the most untainted soul.
So we already know there's a lot of hype for stuff that's coming ahead, but that is still a solid 2 weeks away, almost 3 weeks away. So depending on your spending habits, or if you're very early on, there's a couple things to consider. And again, we are going to be making some assumptions in today's video based on what we are expecting for upcoming banners as well. We have a 2 times event like usual, as expected, a nice simple 2 times. So this is good for anybody in general normally to pull if that's what you prefer. So I prefer a 1+1 over a 2 times for sake of the invocation of spirits, our rares, and our diamonds. But I love a 2 times event for sake of our legendary crystals, our divine summons, because it's a really good chance to also pull lords and other legendaries as well with a much higher increased rate. But we do know there's a lot of hype for some special events to come around the Valentine's Day weekend, which will be 2 weeks away from this summoning weekend. We are expecting a Lust guaranteed banner, although technically that's not confirmed. What has been confirmed, again, unless the game dramatically decide to pull it out and change it, is that Lust is a limited time hero. So limited so far has meant the special banners where on Invocation of Spirits, the blue summons, there is going to be a 250 summons to guarantee the hero. Of course, they could change that amount. It could be higher, it could be less. Or hell, they could do what Raid does and do a guaranteed, but on Raid has Sacreds, we have Divine, right? So you never know, it could be different. We can't 100% assume that just because someone says limited that it's going to be a 250 guarantee yet. At least I have not seen the banners, and I doubt they'd be in the game this early. But you need to consider that, right? Right? That's the hard part, is if you want to prepare with the assumption that the community is making for a 250 summon, meaning, you know, diamonds plus rares, you want to have that saved or know that you're going to be able to get there by the end of the week. Like, okay, maybe you're only at 250 now or 200 now, but you're like, it's fine. I'll definitely get 50 summons over the next 2 weeks. We're good. So maybe anything else, maybe you have 250 worth now, and you're like, I'm gonna pull until I get a legendary, then stop. Like, you could always decide based on your willingness to grind out more content and try to get stuff if you haven't already, or your willingness to spend, which is something we'll be talking about this weekend as well. Because I'll be making those decisions, hoping that some nice packs pop up. If this weekend, if some good packs pop up, why not buy them in preparation for that event if you are a spender, right? So we have to consider saving for Lust. But if you are in excess or if you're willing to spend, then you don't need to save because you know you're going to get there anyway. But when it comes to the idea of the guaranteed hero, keep in mind it is a 10 times banner as well. So there's the consideration that you could pull her early, just like any other 10 times event. You could get the hero early, and the pity does carry over. So if you summon this weekend, or another weekend beforehand, and you're into your like counter, you're toward your pity timer, but you didn't hit a legendary yet, that first legendary that you hit on the banner for Lust could be her, and you could get her early and be done. Or you could keep pulling because you want to get multiple copies of her, because it is a 10 times event. Keep in mind, or so far, assuming they do the same thing they did for Falcia and Captain Rev and Gwendolyn, the 10 times banner means it's a 10 times banner. So you'll lose the guarantee after you get the first copy, but you should probably try to pull for 2 copies because she's really, really good, and her Awaken 1 is really, really good as well. So with that in mind, I mean, I think most people should not summon for the next 2 weeks. Like, it's just the reality. Knowing what we know and knowing how strong that character is and how unique that character is, I feel like the next 2 weeks should be prep for the weekend event. So we don't know what's going to go along with it. I am sure they're going to tempt us with something spicy right along with her spicy self, right? I think so. Who knows? The 10 times banner could be Arrogance plus a new really cool hero like Artemis, or I don't know, one of the other new ones coming, right? It could be something cool like that. Where you want to pull on both banners and you're like, no, I want Lust, but I want that too. And maybe you're really divided. I think they're gonna be smart and make us want to really pull our shards, aka spend. So I think for the most part, most people should not pull. And this is the hard part, is a new player decision. I want to help you guys decide what to do because you have the most limited resources. New player or free to play, you have the most limited resources, right? What are you going to do? Not pull for 2 weeks? Over 2 weeks? That doesn't sound exciting. But I think most accounts that have been playing a while can afford to do that. But if you're brand new, you might not be able to afford to do that. And I don't know that it is worth waiting that long. If you are literally brand new and you have no legendaries yet, or maybe only 1 or 2 legendaries on your entire account, then I don't know that it's necessarily worth waiting to try to get one specific hero on a guaranteed event that requires so many shards and you could get nothing else along the way. I don't know if it's really worth waiting that long unless you're a super chill, super laid back player that is not trying to actually progress at a decent rate. If you don't mind not progressing and getting new heroes and moving forward for 2 weeks, then okay, save. But I don't think most people would have that kind of patience. If you're new, like within the first week of playing your account, you're not going to be sitting there waiting patiently for 2 weeks to summon. Like, how? How are you going to do that? You're going to need to play the game and get characters. And you're going to benefit more from a 2 times event or a 1+1 event if we get one of those next weekend or something. I'm sure next weekend is going to be tempting too, because that will be the week before the Valentine's Day events that should be extra exciting. I'm sure they're going to tempt us, guys. I'm sure they are. Those might be better to pull than to pull on Lust at the end of the day, because it's just like you're limiting your account so much by only pulling and hoping for 1 hero, you know? Like, and waiting so long. So that's just something you have to think about depending on your willingness to wait or your willingness to spend. If you're willing to spend, I mean, most big spenders probably don't just pull on 2 times for the sake of it. They probably wait for the big new heroes and go crazy on a 10 times trying to get multiple copies. So that this weekend, this Friday, I don't see many people summoning on the 2 times unless you're brand new and you just need to get heroes for your account, period. And you probably should just pull. The other consideration is Saturday. We have special ancient summoning events. So this is unrelated to what Lust might affect. But we do know that there are some really cool heroes coming, like Valderon, the new Chaotic Lord. He looks amazing. But we also have another really cool new hero here too. Eunomia, a Watcher and Arbiter faction hero. The Arbiters are amazing, and she's a really, really good healer. She also brings a Dispel. She brings this increased attack speed multiplier here that's like really, really crazy. So she is good and very, very solid. And I'm actually considering pulling my Ancients this weekend just because I would be very happy to have her in my roster, honestly. And the only debate would be Demi. She's unique. She's got the specialized attack speed stuff. She's got the anti-healing, which is solid if you don't have Kriya or don't have LaCierre. You might need that. Plus, if you don't have the other Lord, Morrigan, you might want that as well. And they both have the same faction ally bonus when it comes to the freeze, immobilize, whatever. But hers is a little different. When faction allies kill an enemy, increases their damage by 12% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. And let's see, Morrigan has increases all faction allies' AoE damage by 25%. That might be a little bit stronger in most cases, honestly. But if you don't have a Morrigan, you probably wouldn't be too mad to pull a Demi, honestly. She's going to help you progress in Gear Raid 1. So I kind of feel like this banner for this weekend of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I feel like this banner is meant for people that don't have a Morrigan and haven't finished Gear Raid 1 Stage 21 yet. Otherwise, if you pull and you get Demi instead of Eunomia or other people, you're probably going to be disappointed to pull Demi, at least for now, unless there's new content coming where she's just perfect for. I think that's going to be the case. I think most people would prefer to get someone else. So it's kind of better to save your Ancients when there's something you really, really want, not just pull because you have them. But I was going to try to save for what I really, really want, but at the same time, that would be pulling on the generic banner. And what I most want is Ardea from Ancients, which we already know they have adjusted her rates in a not so exciting way. So that kind of is out the window for me. So I think personally, I might summon this weekend on my Ancients because I'd be very happy to pull a Eunomia for my roster. And I'd be very happy to pull a Demi. I actually haven't done Gear Raid 1, Stage 20 and 21 yet. I don't have a Morrigan, and I think I could probably use her pretty well, at least even if it is only for the Lord bonus, but I would probably build her out fully anyway, even though it might be a limited niche use. But beyond that, I mean, who knows what content to come, what content there is to come, or we might need even more healing, or sorry, anti-healing, or where the specialized attack speed can really, really come in handy. I don't know, it's a little bit different with the attack speed, it's quirky. But the slow is great, honestly. I feel like that will be helpful in a lot of content. Maybe if I'm on a Void Rift where we're dealing with Cultist being the boosted faction, slowing some enemies could be huge. Kind of think of the video I made with Shamir and Win the Grey and how valuable that decreased movement speed really can be, like his drowning water. This is just as slow, but it's still, like, you know, that can really help in a battle that's really difficult, like some of the Void Rift stages. So there might be some quirky use for her yet. She's just a little bit underwhelming compared to the other lords, I would say, right? But if you don't have Morrigan, you're not going to be sad if you pull her. So that's kind of my thought process for this one. But overall, guys, just make a decision based on your own personal opinion and what you are willing to do or not do to get summons. If you're willing to spend, who cares? I will have a cool video coming on Friday. I will have a video discussing that, and I might have something really cool offer-wise for you guys to benefit a little bit more if you do decide to spend, so stay tuned for that. But I think we have to assume that Lust is coming on the 16th, or unless they start the events early for Valentine's Day. We have to assume Lust is coming on February 16th, and that you want to have 250 summons at least to try to guarantee one copy of her. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to have more than that to try to get duplicate copies of her. But they know how bad we want her. They've been purposefully building up the hype. I do have this fear that it's going to be one of those 10 times boosted event situations where it's not really all things equal. You know, like Hex versus LaCierre. Hex was way more rare than LaCierre. I worry that they're going to suppress the rates. Although They can't suppress the rates. Never mind. She's the only legendary on the 10 times banner. Never mind. That might be all the more reason to save more than 250 because for once you have a real chance to get the hero in multiple copies because, well, she's limited. Once she's gone, she's gone. She's probably not going to be back for a year or more, right? I don't know that we're going to see Captain Rev anytime soon, you know? Like, I don't know that we'd see Gwendolyn again before next Christmas. You know, they could do stuff like that, rotational, yearly, seasonal things where they bring it back. Or I think that would be really cool if they brought back a universal event where you could summon for shards of characters or for the shard ones or for the sake of the limited events where you could have chances to get like one banner with all the limited heroes on it and you have chances to pull for that. That would be really cool. But who knows what they're going to do in the future? We don't, but just make your own decision based on what's going to make you happy. For one, if you're going to be frustrated if Lust does come on February 16th and you're not prepared, then prepare for that. You know, you prepare for that. Assume it's going to be Lust. But if you know you need to scratch the itch and you're that kind of person who's going to be willing to spend to make that happen, make that guaranteed happen, I mean, then scratch your itch and, you know, 2 weeks from now, you're probably going to want to get ready to make the guaranteed at least happen, right? All right, guys. I hope this conversation was helpful as always. It is one of those debates. It's never one solid answer for everyone. Like I said, I have to say most people should probably start saving your summons now, at least have the guaranteed set aside, or know that you're going to get to that point by February 16th. But, all right, guys, I don't think I'm doing a summoning stream this weekend. I kind of want to kick back and relax as far as the summons go myself. But if I decide to do summons on Saturday or Sunday for the Ancients, I will let you know. But we're probably not going to have a Friday summoning party. I'm going to be announcing the winners, though. Oh, don't forget about that. I will be announcing the winners on Friday. So I will be posting a video about that. I'll probably post about summons. We'll talk about it again. Maybe I will let you guys know what I'm deciding to do. And I will also let you guys know who won the big W Gold giveaway. Sorry I kind of rambled today. I don't know. I'm having trouble focusing apparently. But it's because there's so much to think about and it's hard to kind of plan around assumptions until we have all the details. And we don't have all the details yet. So it would suck for people to wait 2 weeks and then have things change, which is very possible as well. But it would also suck to 2 weeks from now have everybody say, I told you so. We knew this was coming. Why didn't you save? So just keep that little voice in the back of your head. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.